My quiz for plant growth and nutrition. Now, the first question is, give me, uh, given that you've learned about plant growth, compared and contrast the following terms: Thigmonacea or Thigmogenesis. So, uh, Thigmonacea is if you touch a plant's leaves and they coil up. So let's say this is a plant leaf, right? Touch it, okay, and he kind of coils up right here. It's how plants feel. That's great with the book that we've been reading. What a Plant Knows. Very interesting. Recommended. Now, with the Thingmiogenesis, let's say something's in the way of a plant and it's growing, it'll tend to coil around it. So let's say you know this the plant and this the thing that's going through it. It'll tend to coil up and out, kind of like that. Now, solar tracking and parallelism. So, solar tracking is um, where the plant will move depending on light. So, again, let's say this plant, see this right here, it's front face. Let's say the sun right here, just like a sunflower, it follows. The sun moves up. The tip, to try to gain as much sunlight as possible, the tips and the leaves will follow the sun. Whereas phototrophism, it really depends day on the day length. So like changes it'll make compared to the day length and adapting. So let's say the sun is up for this long but not this long, then that's where it will affect. That's what it will affect. So it's like how they change. As Darwin's rule is survival of the adaptable. This is how they adapt. It's not survival of the fittest. Because big Jack steroid man, let's say I'm running through a bear and going in a cave, big Jack steroid man's not gonna get through there. Me, I'm gonna fit right through there. Haha, I'm gonna survive. So, then positive trophism and negative trophism. So, positive trophism is where the plant will grow as to where the light is. So, like, let's say I plant the seed up, straight up, the plant will just naturally grow up. It'll grow to where a source is leading it. Negative trophism is where it won't grow to where it won't necessarily grow to where it's supposed to due to an outside factor. So let's say that a leaf is turned sideways or upside down. The negative trophism will be the leaf, will be the plant and the seed. Will be the plant bending as the seed stays there and going up to where it's supposed to be, kind of like, well, I mean, its effect on gravity. Now describe the nutrients a plant needs in large quantities and small quantities. So for large quantities, it's nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, calcium. For small quantities, it's iron, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, molybdenum. Imagine you have an unknown plant and you want to determine if it's a long day plant or a short day plant. What actions can be determined? Well, what I'd do, is I'd set up a little experiment, get the plant, set it in sunlight first of all, you know, put a little shade there and test it, if it's 15 hours because, that's how you determine if, when if it blooms during the day with more daylight or if it blooms with less daylight. So what I do is over a course of 3 days, I put it, in 15-hour sunlight, you know, and if it blooms then, I'll know it's a long day. If it doesn't, what I do is give it a few rest days, and I do this whether it does or doesn't, just to make sure I get accurate results. Leave it for a few days on 12-hour days, and then go back down and do 3 days of, let's say, 8 hours instead of 15, like I was the first one. And let's say if I have better results over the 8 days, then I will know it's a short day plant, not a long day plant. As we have reiterated time and time again, describe 3 growth patterns that you could use that depend on light. So low light, low light is a growth pattern that is determined by light. Uh, with low light, the plant will grow spindly. Try to get as much, as it can. The large light, it'll grow with large light growth. It'll grow faster and more abundant. And let's say you blue light growth, blue light, it'll grow and get more CO, help her, get more carbon dioxide and suck it up, and it'll be good to go. So those are three ones that depend on light. So notice I just mostly describe not only density of light, but one um, type of light. I mean, well, multiple types of light, but